I got a sense for it.
All right, guys. Dave Whichard, president of FFL Velocity, sitting here with my man. Let me get this straight here real quick. My man, Mel Tejada.
Hey.
Hey. Say hi.
Hello.
I always love talking to my man, Melvin. And Melvin, you're 22 or 23 now?
I just turned 23 about 2 months ago.
Okay. If it's camera right. Well, cool. And so I've known Melvin now for at least 6 months or so. 8 months? How long has it been?
Yeah. 6, 7. Yeah.
Okay. 6, 7 months. Okay. Melvin, just briefly, just tell us real quick. I mean, some of the guys and gals that work with us have seen you on here before or whatever, may know you, but for the new people, just so that, just quickly your background and, that kind of thing, and how you found FFL.
Sure. So before this, I was selling luxurious above ground pools since April 2022. I still have another business on the side, so I didn't pay myself a salary. I still don't pay myself a salary until we hit critical mass, and therefore I needed like a side gig or something else where I can add value, but at the same time survive and continue. So that's what I did. Was as you may already know, there's a pool season, and it expires right around July, August. So I had to find another thing. So the last day in the field selling above ground pools, in the night I was like, okay, I got to find something that I can add value to the community, that I like what I do, and that I can wake up every morning and say, okay, this is going to support me, my family, and I can, grow myself as well. So all of a sudden, there's a video of Todd Hausberger on YouTube while I'm driving, and I see he says, hey, I helped 20 families in 1 week. And I was like, oh, my God, that's it. And then I call him up, I schedule the appointment, and the rest is history. I'm here.
Wow, that's good stuff. And yeah, I remember you saying that. And that's the thing about these videos. I'm like, we're sitting here in the office. It's early, Charlotte, just after 7 on a Monday, and I'm in town, and Mel's here working at Robbie Wells, and we got we'll have office full here today, and they're dialing the phone and serving families. But my point is, we're here working, and we're going to get this knocked out, and then get back to real work, right? Which is dialing the phone and do the things he needs to do. But being able to introduce him, and then someone relates to him, and it's like, hey, you reach out to Mel, you want to work with him? Great, that's the whole purpose. But also here to help and give you information that hopefully helps you with your business. So with that said, so Melvin. Tell us, I know you've ran a bunch of CRM leads. You've had success there. He's 30, 40, just so you guys know, 30, 40 families a month, kind of guy. I don't know, what's your record amount of families in a month?
40.
40? Okay. Let me get these mic. Say that again.
40.
Heard in the background. Sorry about that. So 40, and, again, he says part-time, but he's doing it for 40 hours, right? So, if you're looking at this, you want to do it part-time, you can learn from a guy like that. So, all right, so Mel, what are some things that you found that somebody's brand new in the industry, the simplicity of it? Because what you're doing in your business probably took a little bit more time to especially since you're just what you're talking about, especially to make an income, right? Mm-hmm. But you can come here and make an income right away by protecting families, right?
With warm leads. Right. I still do cold calls for my other business every day.
Okay.
I still do.
What do you call them on the phone?
I call them on the phone, yeah.
Okay. And they've never heard of you, don't know anything?
They don't know nothing about me. I just do like my little pitch there and see if they're interested or not. If they want to sell their business.
What percentages of people, or how many calls do you have to make to get one that will actually talk to you?
Well, first I'll send a bunch of emails, and then I'll call them about the email that I sent, right?
Got it.
And let's say 10, I call 10, probably 7 pick up, and 3 are interested.
Got it.
Yeah.
But you send a mass amount of emails just to get them and connect. I got it. So there's a lot of work there. Mm-hmm. So whereas with us, you're going to go on a platform, you're going to push a button, you're going to print it out, and you're going to call them. What happens after that? So you walk us through that. What that looks like for a new person.
Yeah, for a new person, you go into the CRM. After, obviously, you've done all the contracting steps and you're contracted with the carriers. You open the CRM with your manager or your upline, however you want to call him or her, and he or she will guide you on which lead types based on your budget you should buy the first time. Okay? So after you do that, then you organize the leads. Obviously, you go to manage leads and you customize it. You got to make sure there's a lot of errors or a lot of mistakes that people do when they buy leads for the first time, and then the third time they buy it, they get a mess. You got to go to custom on the left and then put the date that you're in today. So if today is the 28th, right?
No.
You got to put 06/28/2022 from that date to 06/28/2022. Those are the leads that you recently bought, so you don't download the old ones again. So that's another mistake people make. And then after you download the leads, obviously, you go and put it into Phone Burner, Ringy, or whatever type of CRM that you're using, and then you just start dialing.
Or if you didn't have a CRM, you could just print them out, right?
Yeah, print them out, and then you start dialing from your phone, just like one of my agents yesterday. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Paul?
No, there's a new one.
Got it.
Luis from out of Tampa. Yeah.
All right. Melvin's always recruiting. Walked in here the other day. Hey, that's a good story. Tell that story real quick about Paul.
Yeah. So I was here early, like always, and all of a sudden, on a Saturday actually, and I was, dialing for my other business in the morning because I dialed for FFL in the afternoon. We'll talk about that in a couple of minutes. But anyways, I'm dialing, and all of a sudden I see a gentleman. He knocks on the door, and I say, "Who's that?" And then for some reason he enters, and then he says, "Where's Melvin?" And he continues walking, and then he sees me there, like, "Oh, Melvin." I'm like, "Yeah," and I don't know him. And then he starts saying, "Hey, I just watched a video of you with you and Dave Whichard. I wanted to join FFL." And he's like, "Oh, come on, sit down." And then all of a sudden, he's already licensed.
So he was able to, help him out and get him started. And I met the guy who was super excited. They were in here dialing the other day, and he introduced me. And he said, "Man, this is funny." He tells the story, right?
Yeah.
He tells it really cool. So again, he just looked Melvin up because of one of these. So you just never know, right? So it's cool. And then he came to the meeting on Saturday, which was great.
Yeah.
We just had a conference. How was that conference? Pretty cool?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, if you're not going to conferences, you're not coming to Road to Hall of Fame meetings, there's no way you're going to level up.
How much that cost you to go to that meeting?
Zero.
Got it. So, no, he's paying, like, he doesn't have to pay for training, right? It's there, like a lot of companies do. We don't do that here, so free training and stuff like that. So the opportunity is great. So Melvin, but I'm saying it's going to be big one day, right?
Yeah.
We won't talk numbers, but it'll be big, and that's going. And do you see yourself like continue to do this as well, right? And build something, because you definitely see integrity, and you see what that's like, because you know what private equity means and things like that, right? Could you talk about, from a business mind, now that you know what you know, for someone that maybe doesn't have the resources or the mindset that you had when you started at a young age to, hey, I'm going to start this own company, but if they're interested in that, they're an entrepreneur mindset, they're like, man, I want to work with a company that I have ability where I can build an agency and then possibly partner with a company like that. What do you think about what you've seen so far here with that opportunity?
Yeah. So the first thing I'll tell you, if you're a business owner, it's easier to buy revenue than create it. I'll say it again.
Well, that's good. So let's get back to a little bit more, basic stuff. But I think the reason I had him on is because, like I said, he's young, he's ambitious, and he's doing multiple things here. So, all right. So now you're going to go today when we leave here. At some point, you're going to dial the phone, right? You're going to start booking an appointment. What does that look like for you now? Because now you're going. He went from. Tell about the transition a little bit. And we were just talking about this before, but let me just be clear. In my mind, if you're watching this, hybrid is the way to go, in my personal opinion, okay? I think this is just me, and again, I've dialed the phone, right? So my personal opinion is the fact that I think you should get good on the phone. Elvin says, hey, well, yeah, but if you're getting good on the phone, you can do it this way. And I'm not saying I disagree with it. I'm just saying that person comes in, for me, it was because I came from that background. I know how to operate in the home. I don't know how to do what he's doing, so I can't teach you that. But he's also doing the telesales now. So, but he also knows he could go back to doing what? In the home, right? So it's a good hybrid to figure it out. Because let me ask you this question. If you would have got on there, not that you were going to fail, because he's not going to fail, because he knows about taking one more shot. Yeah. He knows that. He's already successful. So he knows about that. My point is, so going back to my point, if you would have got on the telesales and after a week or two, there was no income, what would you have done? You would either made adjustments or gone back to what you know was working, right? Right. But it worked for you, and that's okay. But what I'm trying to get at is, if a guy's protecting 20, 30, 40 families a month, and then he goes back to 10, we got to make some changes here. You got to realize that it may just not be for you, or you do both until you get to a point where you can do that, correct?
Until your skills level up.
Would you agree with that?
I'll agree with that.
Yeah, and I didn't mean to elaborate. I just want people to understand. But tell us now what you're doing, how you did it, and that kind of thing.
Yeah, so right around the first week of May, I was driving and I was making calls from my other business. So that's how I used to do it when I used to do in-home. I used to call for my other business on the phone while on my way to my first, second, third appointment, right? So I used dial in between for my other business. And for some reason, the first week of May, I believe it was Thursday, I almost had a crash. So I'm like, oh my God, I can't keep doing this. I got two businesses, and it's just a lot for me to drive and talk on the phone and then get to the other house. And you see, I'm dressed like this because I'm on Zoom calls for my other business. It's not that I want to go like this to people's house, but yeah. So the transition happened that week. Then I said, okay, let me just go ahead and full telesales. I know people recommend go hybrid, but I have something about myself where I built Melvin to the point where I'm super confident that I know I can do it. So I just went full telesales, like cold turkey, like they say. And then the first week it was great. I helped over 11 families. Second week was tough. It was very tough. I only helped 3 families. Third week, 5 families. Fourth week, up to 10. So there's a cycle. There's a learning curve for telesales. You gotta be a little bit more polished than you're in the in-home. You have more chances in the in-home because they're right there in front of you. But in telesales, they can just click the red button, boom, you're gone. So yeah, just have that in mind.
Yeah, and I think that's the point. Like what I'm trying to make here is that,
Yeah.
and get this out is because I think Sean, when I'm with him, and I know he thinks the same way. It's like we know this works because we've done it for years and years and years. Not that won't work, because it does, but some people are just really good at it, and some others are not so good at it. And so I think they just have to figure that out. But we don't want to hurt people, so it's like just trying to make sure that in this case, because if I'd have noticed that Mel was 3, 3, 2, 1, I would have probably called him. But I haven't noticed. I didn't notice too much of a like you're not there. And Todd probably would have too, right?
Yeah.
As we were talking about earlier, see, Todd, he's really good on the phone. We know that. He doesn't have to, which we'll talk about. But, I mean, we know he can do either one. He's been around a while, right? Yeah. But a new person, I think they should, I just think there's something to being in the home, because then when they do get on the phone and they know what it looks like in a home and what they're actually seeing, and does that make sense?
They can visualize how it's going to go.
Exactly. Yeah. And then they can be better. That's
and they can be more human on the phone. Not like a robot.
Right. Now, did you ever go in? Well, you did, because you did pools. So you were kind of comfortable with that, right?
Yeah.
In a way.
Yeah. And the phones were kind of comfortable as well, since I'm doing cold calls for the other business. So it's not like I was scared on the phones,
So, all right. So now you weren't scared on the phone, but what do you tell some of the new agents like Paul or whoever who's never dialed the phone before? How do you get them to overcome that fear? Because people do have that.
Yeah. I saw a chart with statistics where it says, the first cause of death was like heart attack, stroke, and the fourth was accidents. I mean, cold calls is nowhere near in that list. And we're not doing cold calls. We are doing warm calls with FFL. Hear that? So you're not going to die from making a call. So if you look up online, Google statistics on, what's the number one reason people die, number 2, number 3, number 100, it's not even number 1,000. You're not going to die making a call. You make a call to your daughter, you make a call to your cousin, you make a call to your husband, wife. Just treat those people like if they're family, because you're protecting a family. If you don't call them, and you already purchased the lead, you're not going to be in business.
True. You're not going to be in business. That's the thing. So I love that. And taking action. What would you say to the people who are watching right now? You're 23, right?
Yeah.
I got to keep up. No, he's old. Be my son. What would you tell people? They're just getting started. If you had three things. Let's just start with 3.
Yeah.
3 of the main things for them to be successful here in the insurance world.
Yeah. Number 1, belief. And I'll say that to say this: absence of evidence is not evidence of absence. So absence of evidence is not evidence of absence. That's number 1. Number 2, visualization. You gotta go in your mind. How do you want the appointment to go? Either closing or in home. Okay, from start to finish. Expectations. And then number 3 is the main thing. Just do it.
Yeah.
Press the red button. Pull the trigger. Take action.
Right. And so to elaborate on that, so those 3 points now. So what? Go back to when you first went into the home. How did you get through that? Did you have somebody to call? Did you know how did that look?
Yeah, to be honest, if you're a new person here, I didn't know much. I didn't know much about the products. I just believed that Todd Hausberger believed in me.
Mm-hmm.
So I just went out there and I already knew that I was going to help the people that I booked the appointments with. Why? Because the insurance carriers that we work with are pretty reputable, and I know they're going to pay if they're paying for a policy that they're going to pay that family. So I just went with the mindset was like, okay, I'm going to a house. They don't have insurance, or if they do, I can beat the price. Anyways, I'm going to help them out. And I got Todd, who's been in the industry 17 years, and anything I got going on in the house, I can call him up and he can tell me what to do. So that's what I did. I went in the house. I went through the agenda that he told me to go through with the client. And once I filled out every portion of the financial inventory, I took a picture, sent it to Todd, and he advised me and guided me on what to do and what to say. And then I helped the families.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you mentioned price, which we don't really sell on price. However, what Melvin's saying, because we have, you know, 15, 20, 30, we have a lot of companies, but
Yeah.
you know, 8, 10, 12, we use most of the time, and really 4, 5, or 6, right?
Yeah.
But if he needs to, he has the ability to do that in most cases. The biggest thing is we can get most every single person qualified in some way or form, right? Depending on their financial situation. How have you found the training, the tools, and the things here? As again, new persons watching this, are like, hey, I just don't know anything about this. How's that look?
Yeah. So go on YouTube and go to, there's 3 channels. There's the next level. You know, if you want to get to the next level, there's inside the sale. If you want to know what's inside the sale, how successful producers actually help families, more than 30 families a month, inside the home, or telesales, again, inside the sale. And then True Talk. You know, when you hear everything raw, the truth. And most people tally dance around the truth, just like David Goggins say. You know you have to dial. You know that you got to be disciplined. You know that you got to come out every day and give your best. Why don't you do it? Don't tally dance around the truth. I mean, you know, you never know if we're going to be here tomorrow. So just live every day like it's your last day. But at the same time, you know, be conscious of the people that you're helping with Family First Life. Like, this is a real job. It's a duty. You're not in the military here, but it's a real duty because people need your help.
Man, I love that. And as we wrap this thing up, it's good stuff. I can sit here and talk about, talk with you all day about different things. Yeah, and so like we have our podcast, right? It's FFL Velocity on YouTube, and then you've got FFL USA does some. There's a lot of really good ones out there, and then obviously with Next Level, something I've listened to a long time. So again, lots of training, but then also you get training in the offices. Could you, as we wrap this up, another minute, couple minutes here? What's the importance of WorkSpots been for you here, being able to come to an office? Now you have an office, but in the beginning,
Yeah, being able.
what has this meant to you?
Yeah, I have the opportunity to rub elbows or learn from top producers that work every day and give their best every day. They're the best in the company. You gotta have work spots to meet those people, and you will have discounts as well every week, and you will save, like Robbie says, right around $2,000. If you're not in work spots, then you're losing. So Workspot gives you the ability to save money on leads and at the same time meet top producers and learn more and get to like the Road to Hall of Fame meetings where your first one here with Jay Coney changed my life. Yeah.
Oh wow, really?
Yeah. Changed my life in a perspective where, in a way where my in-home was more effective.
Well, I know he'll love to hear that.
Yeah.
So that's cool. Well, hey, man, Melvin, how do they get a hold of you? They want to work with you, a young 23-year-old entrepreneur. I mean, he is. He's got a couple of different businesses, but he's certainly helping a lot of people here with Family First Life, and we're just blessed to have him on our team. Love the guy. So how do they get a hold of you, man?
Yeah, you can just send me a text or call me at 202-956-9118, and I'll respond.
All right, what about your Instagram handle? You got that?
Yeah, Mel Tejada _FFL. New Instagram.
Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and at Dave Whichard, if you could, you follow that too as well. And then obviously go to our YouTube page, subscribe if you can. Family First Life Velocity, we'd love that and appreciate it. Again, we're just trying to help people grow. So thanks for being on today. Mel, you're great, and I appreciate you jumping on and taking a few minutes to share. I know this will make some difference in people's lives. So thanks so much.
Thank you, Dave.